Don't let them gaslight you and tell you say you don't have valid questions over a hurricane that displayed some characteristics that we've never seen or experienced before. Don't let them gaslight you and get you to stop asking questions.
Cause this and this is dragging it this way. And that is why Melissa stalled in the Caribbean and moved across Jamaica. Nobody make it. It's nature.
Fact number 2, let's throw a low pressure system in the Atlantic. And you're a puffy cloud. Which way are you going to go?
You're going to push me north.
Yeah, so all the system will push you north towards that low pressure system.
Right.
And and another puffy cloud north of the low pressure system. Which way are you going to go?
I'm going to go south.
You're going to go south. So the low pressure system attracts all clouds.
Right. Oh, wow.
Calling all clouds. So there they go. Now, if that kept up, they would just sort of meet in the middle.
Right.
But that's not what happens.
How you doing?
That's not what happens because everybody has sideways motion.
Right.
And I'm a cloud south of that low pressure system, and I go towards it, but wait a minute, I have speed that will overtake it.
Right.
Because I'm going sideways faster than it is.
Okay.
It'll overtake it to the right.
Right.
Now you're above, and you're headed towards it, you're going to fall behind it to the right. And that creates a general circulation of all weather around a low pressure system, and that's what we call a storm. And so, Chuck, it probably makes sense that if you repeat this in the southern hemisphere, everything is going to move in the opposite direction. So storms in the southern hemisphere actually rotate clockwise. And that would mean a storm on the equator wouldn't know which way to rotate.
You got a storm-free zone?
It's a storm-free zone.
Nice.
There you go. So, Chuck, the fact that things circulate in this way, with clouds from below overtaking and from above falling behind, that was studied by a guy named Coriolis, and it's called the Coriolis force. So it's not really a force, but it looks like there's a force pushing things, and that's what happens when you're on rotating surfaces. And later, so wait, when is hurricane season?
August.
It's August and September.
Right.
Okay? Because Earth is beginning to cool down, but you have this heat source.
That's still,
and it's a moisture source.
Right.
And it's unstable.
Wow.
So the air rises, makes clouds, low pressure system gathers, you have a circulating system, thus is born a hurricane.
Boom.
Boom, boom.
Look at that.
Now, hurricanes, the lower the low pressure system is,
right,
the more clouds it attracted, the more devastating the hurricane is, the faster it'll turn everything.
Look at that.
Yeah, so that's that. Now, as it sort of, they can sometimes make a left turn into the Caribbean,
right,
as it so devastatingly does for the island countries there, or it can go up the coast.
Right.
All right. Now, if it goes over land, it doesn't have the heat from the ocean, and so generally they lose their punch.
Less heat, less moisture.
Exactly. They generally lose their punch. But if it stays along the coast, it can stay potent. And they don't move very fast. I mean, along Earth's surface, 10 miles, 20 miles an hour tops.
Right.
Okay? That means if you do the math for how long it would take you to go up the coast, it can take weeks. Guaranteeing that.
But I'm a hurricane. I got no place to be. I got time, baby.
Someplace along this coast, it's going to landfall during high tide. Somebody's going to get a high tide hurricane.
Right.
And that's bad. Because high tide can be bad enough, but a high tide that would be during full moon or during new moon. That's what I mean by high tide. Every day has a high tide. I'm talking about big high tide, right? Full moon, new moon. The hurricane hits you during one of those, you get extra tidal, you get storm surge as well as the tide surge.
Wow.
And so that can, particularly in the era of global warming where ocean levels are slowly creeping up, you can end up going over gates and jetties and levees or whatever is holding back the water. You can breach that. It just takes an inch to breach it, and
that's it.
That's it.
Flooded the city.
You flood the city.
Wow.
As long as the hurricane is there, you flood the city.
Get your bucket.
So if you come from Jamaica and you find yourself on the corner or around your dinner table or amongst your friends and you're bridging them, and you have this discussion, is this hurricane man-made or is it an act of nature, an act of God? Don't let them gaslight you and tell you say you don't have valid questions over a hurricane that displayed some characteristics that we've never seen or experienced before. Don't let them gaslight you and get you to stop asking questions. There were some anomalies with this hurricane. That are the first thing. But I think the whole discussion around, was it man-made, was it natural, how the storm come and then move go there so, and how it only leaks certain place and then no leak certain place and blah 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 blah. I think that whole discussion is important, very important, but I think it's also a red herring. There's a concept of a red herring. Let me explain what that concept essentially means. You're having a very important conversation with somebody in a room, and somebody just walk in with a dead cat and fling down the dead cat on the table. Boom. Suddenly, the attention is drawn away from the discussion, the very important discussion that you are having, and now all the attention is drawn to this dead cat where you just put on the table. It just steal all of the attention, right? That's the concept of a red herring. When people are having a discussion and people want to take your attention away from that very important discussion, them just do something which is just out of the ordinary, something which is just weird, i.e. them come with a dead cat and fling the dead cat on the table. So your conversation move away from what you were discussing before, and now it move over to this damn dead cat where this person come fling on the table. That's the first part. So whilst everybody have this discussion around man-made or natural, I think what is more important, it's like a misdirection. So the hurricane did happen, whether it is real or it's man-made, I think it's besides the point. People are suffering. People are suffering, right? But I think once we tend to the needs of people who are suffering, I think the next important step is to analyze and assess what occurred with this hurricane. What occurred before, what occurred during, and what has occurred after the hurricane.
The phrase problem, reaction, solution to describe the most used and the most powerful method of mass, mind and emotional manipulation that has been used on us to advance this agenda. It used to be called the Hegelian dialectic, and I thought problem, reaction, solution would sum it up more succinctly. What it means is that you want to change society in a way that if you did it openly and had a meeting and said, right, well, tell the public this is what we're going to do, you know that you would get a massive public reaction against what you want. So you don't do it openly. You play this technique. Stage one, you create a problem. It could be a terrorist attack, it could be a war, it could be a government collapse, it could be a run on a currency, it could be a credit crunch, rising food prices, rising mortgages. Anything that will give you the opportunity to install the solution to that problem that will advance your agenda. Once you've covertly created the problem, you then tell the people through a pathetic mainstream media the version of that problem that you want the public to believe, i.e. bin Laden orchestrated 9/11, Lee Harvey Oswald killed Kennedy, whatever. If we had a journalistic profession, even just in any way justifying the name, problem, reaction, solution fall down, because the explanation would be investigated, it would be found to be wanting, it would be reported to the people, this would collapse. Because we don't have a journalistic profession worthy of the name, the problem's created, the cover story of the problem is then reported to the people as official history, uninvestigated, and what they're looking for at stage two is a reaction from the public that says, in effect, something must be done, what are they going to do about it? Fear, outrage, do something. And then
operation. We can't carry this on forever or for too long. At some point we will transition to a voucher or a coupon system where instead of carrying the bag of relief items, you will get something that is equivalent to cash, and you can go to your nearest shop in your area where we will stock and supply them, and you get your items.
Then those who've covertly created the problem, got the public reaction, do something, then openly, through changes in legislation, offer the solutions to the problems they have themselves covertly created. And what are those solutions? They are changes in society to advance the Orwellian Big Brother state.
Nikola Tesla was the scientific genius of the 20th century, and if he was alive today, he'd be the scientific genius probably of the first part of the 21st century. He had understood many things about the nature of our reality. He'd understood about the electromagnetic fields that you can access and turn into usable warmth and power, which the cabal that owns the energy industry of the world has been suppressing, because it doesn't want people to have access to this free energy, which we could have. And by the way, the same people who are saying we must lower carbon emissions because of global warming, which is another nonsense, this human-caused global warming lie, they're the same people that are suppressing the development of use of free energy technology, which Tesla developed and understood, which could eliminate the carbon power systems, immediately. What HAARP does is it fires radio waves, very, very focused and very powerful, into the upper atmosphere known as the ionosphere. It entrains, as they say. It gets the ionosphere to vibrate in sympathy with the radio wave. And this creates a situation where this entrainment adds massive, massive, massive power to the original radio wave, and then it's bounced back to Earth, massively greater power, and they can hit a specific spot on the Earth. And if they can hit somewhere which is vulnerable in terms of earthquakes anyway, and they can do it at a specific frequency, because the earthquakes have a frequency like everything does, then they can cause an earthquake and they can cause a tsunami. And they can cause, with the same principle, they can cause very great extremes of weather, like hundreds of unprecedented tornadoes that appeared in 2007 and killed hundreds of people in America. And, people say, oh, no, you can't mess with the weather, it's ridiculous. Well, hold on a second. There are international treaties which countries have signed saying that it's illegal to manipulate the weather and to use it as a weapon of war. Well, they're not going to have those treaties unless they know it's possible. It's ridiculous. We have a situation where, yes, of course there are natural earthquakes, but they don't all have to be. And you can bomb somewhere from an aircraft, or you can cause devastating earthquakes and devastating weather events. And you can bring countries to their knees that way. And in many ways, people within the establishment, they know that Fukushima and that earthquake and tsunami and everything, they know it was created. It wasn't a natural event. And what that says to them, and what they're saying to them with that event is, if you say no to us, look what we can do. If they want to bring Japan to its knees, they've got to find a way, like they did in with the two, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, at the end of the Second World War. But today they would have to find an excuse to send the boys in. Well, they can't find an excuse. So instead of that, we'll go the way that they have, because Japan is over. It's over.
Now, why did I say that? Governments oftentimes have certain, how can I put it, agendas, right? What they want to implement. And a lot of the times people are resistant to change. People are resistant to certain agendas. And therefore, for people to accept certain things, you have to kind of push them or nudge them a little bit. Push them in the right direction to get them to accept something what them wouldn't otherwise accept. How does that connect to the hurricane? The government has for a long time had this agenda. I mean, when I say agenda, it sounds like a conspiracy theory. Okay, I know where this is going. Listen for a second. The government has long wanted to bring in, for example, digital currency. The government has long wanted to implement NIDS, a digital ID, which is connected to the digital currency. You can't have a digital currency without a digital ID. It's not possible. Both of them go hand in hand. So the government has long wanted to implement certain things in Jamaica. Those are just two. There are more than two, but those are just two, for example. Right? And even if the government never created this hurricane, or even if the government is not in cahoots with America or the World Health Organization, or you name the organization, there's a saying, never let a good crisis go to waste. Never let a good crisis go to waste. So even if they never make it, even if they never did want it, the fact that it there now, them are going to use it as an opportunity for bringing the things them where people never did want them for bringing. For bringing the things them where people did reluctant to accept. For bringing the things them where people did afraid of. If you are a religious person and you believe in the mark of the beast, and you hear say you have to go put something in your hand, a microchip or on your forehead or whatever, and you hear say the government want to bring in digital ID and you have to have this in order to go to the shop to buy or to sell, you're resistant to that naturally. So when the government come now, when the hurricane come now, and the government say, boy, you want we have to go transition over to a voucher system, you know, because we can't just have money at dish out to people left, right, or center. Naturally, that will make people like sit up and go, really? And they say it there. But for the government, them see it as the perfect opportunity for them to implement a system that they've long wanted to implement. There's nothing conspiratorial about it. There's nothing like, come down. Come down and give the people them a chance, man. Some people say some madness on social media, I get that. But not everybody is crazy. And sometimes if something not goes so, sometimes people don't have the full picture. Them not have all the information. But people somehow have a sixth sense and can realize when something connected to something and something not feel right.
Something not right. Something not right, yeah.
The concept of never make a good crisis go to waste. I think them also call it the Hegelian dialect. Sometimes governments will create a problem in order to offer you the solution. So, if them want piece of land to develop hotel, and the people them decide to them now come off of the land, the government might, I don't know, drill somewhere close to the land. What them call that drilling process there in America, where them drill and them pump water into the ground in order to extract the oil. Fracking, they call it fracking. Fracking causes earthquake. So for example, you're there on a piece of land, the government want the land. Them say, boy, you know, so we feel the oil over the part, them come and them drill. Them drill using the process called fracking. Fracking cause, I don't know, a little earthquake. Suddenly, everything on the land get destroyed. People have to move off. Then them say the land is unsafe for, I don't know, for people to live on for the next 5 years. Everybody come off of the land. Maybe you get some compensation for it.
I'm Chaplain Williams. I'm from the National Land Agency. I'm the supervisor for topographic data management. Today we're here in Black River, and my team and I were mapping the entire town and its environs as well. We're doing it for recovery purposes as well as to find those government lands that can be used as a part of the recovery planning process.
As a Jamaican, I respect everything what everybody I do for help Jamaica and assist all nations. As a Jamaican, we want to be careful about the help we take, and in this time use the opportunity to show our resilience and show what we are made out of. Because we are not normal people, you know. We are built back, bounce back, big and higher. See me? But a lot of help, it's not really help. A lot of people just help themselves in that them can manipulate our situation. You see me? We don't want to help with strings attached.
Don't sell no land, yeah? You see, when a storm you pass, don't sell no land. Because I really feel like, say, them are go try to send in foreign aid fi say them are go help we. Like how it landfall down at St. Elizabeth, which is the bread basket of Jamaica, where whole heap of food plant. Farmers, me a beg you know, any food when I got plant from now, save it and store it and save where the seeds them. Jamaican people, we must go back to train partner and saving and building a community and sharing food. Don't take none of these foreign aid people something and don't make them trick you into selling your land. Yeah? Jamaican people, come home and buy up on a land. Buy up a land, Jamaican people.
And then 5-10 years later, suddenly the land is okay again. And I don't know, big investors decide we're going to build a 5-star hotel on this nice prime real estate. That's how it works. Don't be fooled.
And those government lands that can be used as a part of the recovery planning process.
Let me tell you how it's going to happen. First, it's going to start with the people them who desperate. Poor people, people who destitute, people who are homeless, people who lost their jobs, just people who are struggle to survive. They will be the first to accept this. Because you have to survive. Duh. Right? Then from the people them who are struggle to survive, them are gonna move on to the people them who are just about surviving. So them have a job, but things kind of tight, hand to mouth kind of thing. Them the people there, them are gonna make them some kind of an offer, and them are gonna kind of cloak it in this. It will make things easier. If you take this, then the government can help you. Them are gonna come like, like, how can I put it? Like Bill Gates. Them are gonna come like Bill Gates will say, yo, me there to help you, help me, I try to help you. Always be careful of people who say them want to help you. Always ask, what's in it for you? What's in it for you? So for years, Jamaican people fight and resist this NIDS system, right? And let me tell you exactly how the government are going to manage to implement this NIDS. They were waiting for the right opportunity.